Okay, what you want to do first is you want to locate these items right here. These I'm going to have wrapped together in one bundle so you can't, they won't get mixed up. So what you want to do is you want to get these pieces here, and you have an R here and an L here. Those letters will go to the outside, okay? So what we'll do is we'll take the L in the left hand, the R in the right hand, and turn around like this here so that the letters are on the outside. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the small one here, the small piece, and as you look on the we're going to take the large piece, not the small piece. We're going to take the big one. Alright, now on this here piece here you have countersink holes. Okay, I'm also going to send with you the screws here, and you have small screws and you have large screws. In this case you're going to take two of the large screws like so, and take the one that has R on it, put the R to the outside this way, and take your large block here, and there's an R on here, and there is the counter head hole right here. You're going to take this and you're going to put this on top like this, and then you're going to screw it down. You don't have to glue it. It'll hold tight just screwing it down like this. And I'm not going to cut away too much here. I'm going to just do this all in real time here so you can see how it's done. Alright, so we have the R to the R. Now on this side we have the L, and again you want to make sure that the L is on the outside and assemble it like this, the same way. Now you can leave it a little bit loose at first here until you get the top one. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure the L is to the left hand side, swing it this way here, and you're going to find that on the small block here you're going to have an X, and you're going to have an arrow, half of an arrow here, and the tip of an arrow here. The same thing is drawn on here. What you're going to do is you're going to take the large side here where it says R again and put it to the R bracket right here, and you're going to put it inside like this. Again, you're going to use long screws. So again, the large part of the arrow on the right hand side here, start it with your fingers like this a little bit, get it started until it gets into the hole, and then you can temporarily tighten it a little bit, don't have to tighten all the way yet. And as you can see here, the triangle matches up, and the small triangle on the other side matches up. So what we'll do is we'll screw this side now. This one's a little bit tight, so you use a screwdriver for this one. You need to get it started because it's going through a knot. So it's a little bit tighter, so you use a screwdriver. But again, just make sure it's lined up with the holes, and it should go in easy with the screwdriver, then you know it's lined up with the holes. Now, once you get it lined up like that, make sure that you got your triangles looking like this. Okay. Your left hand side mark is to the outside, the right hand mark is to your outside. Everything looks good here. Tighten everything up now. You don't have to go real tight, just not tight enough to keep it together. That ensures everything's going to stay together. And that finishes the first stage of the assembly. Now set that to the side, and you're going to have now, you're going to find your four pieces, large pieces here. You have the barrel, you have the bottom Then you have the middle section, and then you have the roof system. You'll get these here 4 pieces here, and what you want to do is you want to take your barrel, and in the inside of the barrel there's an L and there's an X, and of course on the right side there's an R. Put all your left hand sides to the left hand side of you. So set your barrel down with the L to the left hand side. On your bottom you're going to find you have all the numbers written on the bottom as well as on the barrel. Okay, it says bottom of bottom. What you want to do again is you have an X on number 2 here. Make sure that X is to the left hand side and set that down like this. Make sure there's your X again. Set that to the left hand side. And you have your middle. Again, all the numbers are in there marked for there again to match the barrel. And there's your X again. Now make sure, now you want to turn this back this way here and make sure your X is to the left hand side. And then finally the top, here's your X, and that has all the numbers on there too to match the barrel. Again, make sure the X is to the left hand side, and you can just keep that like it is right now and just set it down. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the barrel first, and we're going to assemble that to the bottom. Okay, to take your barrel, again with the X to the left hand side, and set that on the base. Are you in focus here? Right here? Where are we at here? Okay. Right there. So this here has the X to the left hand side, X to the left hand side here also, and set that down in between there like that. Turn it over, and you're going to see 4 holes here on the perimeter. You're going to take your large screws again, and you're going to screw this down onto there like this now. And again, you just want to do it with a hand screwdriver. There's no need to have to glue it. Screws will hold it nice and tight. If you could start it with your fingers, it's in the holes. What I just did there, it came up on a little bit because the screw was going a little crooked and it wasn't hitting the hole. And so you just got to back them out a little bit and come back in. Once you've got the screws in finger tight, you know you're lined up. Then you can go ahead and tighten it down. So you just go ahead and tighten the screws down like you would on a tire. Just go back and forth here. In other words, go across 1, 2, this way here. It's like you would take nuts off a tire. Put the tire back on. And just make sure everything's nice and tight. Don't strip it. Don't tie it too tight for you to strip it, then you will have to glue it. Alright, now again, here's your X on this side here. Verify. There's your X down there, left hand side, and your barrel is now assembled to the bottom. Set that down like this, and that takes care of stage number 2 for the assembly. Okay, so now for the next part of the assembly, we have to get these little uprights here. Now, every one of these has a small hole on one side and a large hole on the other side. On the small hole side, there is a little number, and on the back side, there's a number. What you're going to do is the large hole will always go down onto the base, and the small hole will be on top. We're going to assemble these around the barrel now. Okay, so now at this point we can take your barrel, since it's all together here, and you can turn it around any way you want to turn around to. And just look for where it says top 1 on the barrel. Start right there, and as you look, you will see on the bottom of the barrel here, there will be a 1. And then to the right of it will be 2 and 3 and so on all the way around to get to 8 on the other side of the 1. So we're going to start with number 1 here, and we're going to look for number 1 on these uprights. Okay. Now here's number 1 on the upright. I'm going to take the large hole I'm going to put that down, the small hole on top, and there's a 1 written on there too. And just set this. Now this you can glue, okay, but you don't have to. But you can glue in order to keep them tight. So yeah, I would say probably glue them. Alright, so what we're going to do is put just a little bit of glue just on the bottom here a little bit. And then just set that on the pin like that. The reason why I say you just put a little bit of glue because you do want to be able to turn that a little bit as you're assembling this here. But that will go on there like that. Just put a very small amount of glue on the bottom. That's all. Don't put too much that it gets too what do you call it? All right. So now again we'll go number 2 and we'll go all the way around. Again, large hole on the bottom, and just push it down. Push it down. 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8, of course. Now the first thing you want to do is double check to make sure you have all your small holes on top. And every one of these have their numbers now written on there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around. And the next step now is here you want to put just a small amount of glue again, very small amount of glue on the top of each one of these. And we're now going to assemble the middle to it. So in order to do that, turn this around and make sure that the left is to the left hand side of you again, which again the X, say it says top X right here, X to the left hand side, lay it down. Take your middle section, making sure that the X is to the left hand side of you, and then just drop this down on the whole assembly. It's going to take a little bit of finessing, but you'll get it. Okay, X to the left hand side, all the X's to the left hand side, and let's assemble this. Now you're going to find out that as you're assembling it like this, it may push up on the dowels here a little bit. That's okay. You can just push them back down. That just gives you a little bit of room to be able to get that on there so that it goes on. But you see how that went on like that? So now we'll just push these dowels down. That's all. So just take a little bit of a small hammer or something. Just very easily. Just very easily take it down like that. They will go down nice and smooth until they're nice down and smooth. And now you have that assembled like that. Now, like I said, have just enough glue on there to keep it together, but make sure you got everything now lined up here a little bit as best as possible as you're going around. Make sure it looks pretty good this way. And then let that set for a while to dry. But the main thing is to make sure that these here are kind of coming towards you in a proper angle. You can eyeball that and you'll be able to see that. But that's the assembly of that part right there. Okay? So what we're going to now do is the uprights. That's coming next. Okay, now to assemble the upright assembly into the barrel, here's where you're going to use small screws. So what we have here is the rest of the screws in here now are small screws. So take 2 small screws. Now, ensuring that your barrel assembly has the X to the left hand side, take your upright assembly and make sure that the L, which has the X down here inside, make sure that the L is to the left hand side as well, and drop it down. L to L, and then the R here to the R side. Drop it down like this, and you're going to be dropping it down right in between those 2 little parallel boards in there. There's little things there. Alright, so we're going to do that in like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to push it down until it seats down completely on the bottom. Okay, so that's how it's going to look on the bottom. On the sides here is where you're going to put your screws. There's 2 holes, one on each side. Start it with your fingers first. That way you ensure that you got it in the hole. Because if it has a hard time going in with your fingers, it means that you don't have it lined up, and you got to push this back and forth a little bit to get it lined up. But once you got it in about like that and you're comfortable with it, then take a screwdriver and tighten it in. Again, this does not have to be glued either. Like so. Alright. Again, make sure that your X, right here's the X, is to the left hand side of you. Drop it down like this, and this is what you should have so far. Alright. Okay, X to the left hand side. The next thing we're going to do is assemble the roof part. Okay, the one last thing to do on the barrel assembly is to turn it upside down, and you have 2 more small screws, and you're going to put that in the 2 holes on the bottom here that are left over. Yeah, like this. Again, X to the left hand side, like that. And now you're going to take the roof system. This part right here. Again, X to the left hand side, but this time make sure that the X is up, because this is the top of the roof system. And set that on top, and you're going to find 2 holes here and 2 holes here for screws. These are your last 2 screws, small screws. Now this might take a little finessing, so that's why I made the holes a bit larger here, so you can just drop them through. And very carefully just work it until you get the screws inside the holes here. And it's not going to be that hard. Just take a screwdriver and just get one started like this. And then take the other one and just kind of fill it in there. It may take a little finessing on your part until you get it in there, but once you do, tighten it up. And so now we're going to verify everything. X on top here, X in the middle, and X on the bottom. As long as your 3 X's are lining up, you did good so far. Now, the rest of it is the decorative part. We're going to put the roof on and the decorative part around it, and that's coming up next. Okay, so now when you get to this stage here, probably the best thing to do would be to assemble the handle here and the bar going across. What we'll do is, again, making sure that the X is on the left hand side, this way here. We'll just go ahead and put the bar in here like this. You have two little bushings here, so we'll do it this way so you can see. Okay, so take your bar and stick it through the one side here. Put both of these here bushings on, these inside bushings on like this. Slide it through, and then you have your outside bushing here that will go over here like this. And then pull your 2 bushings inside over like this here, and what you're going to do is, this is going to be glued in here. So what you'll do then is just glue these to the these bushings to the uprights, and get everything glued together and get everything lined up, and then you should be good to go on that. Okay, so just and you can adjust this where you want it at before you glue it in place, but just glue it all in place nice and tight till it looks good to you. You might have to raise it up a little bit to get it even, whatever you got to do. And then that part's done. And now we're going to start working on the roof. Okay, so now we're going to work on the roof rafters. Now, with the roof rafters here, you can put your screwdriver away. There's no more screwing. You can use hot melt glue, or you can use regular wood glue, Elmer's wood glue, or even just regular white glue. But you do want to glue these on here now. Everything else is going to be glued now. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your rafters now. They're numbered. And these numbers here are on the bottom and to the right hand side of each rafter. So what you're going to do is you can start with number 1. We'll start with number 1 here. And what you're going to do is you're going to, on your roof system here, you're going to look for number 1, which is right here, R1, roof 1, and you're going to see a 1 on one of these little tabs right here. Alright, that's very important. That 1 on the rafter is on the right hand side is going to match the 1 that's written on the little tab right here. You're going to take your roof rafter after it's been glued on the bottom, and you're going to put it in here like this. You're going to slide it up, and there's a little pin, a stop pin here. You're going to slide up until you hit that pin, and then it stops. And then that glue is going to set like that. Now that's R1, R2 is to the right of it, and so now you're going to take R2 rafter and do the same thing. Again, glue on the bottom here just a little bit. Set it in here, up to the pin, and all the way around. R3. R4. And I'm probably going to use a little hot melt glue temporary just to assemble this. 6, 7, and 8. And when you get these here in, that should look like that. R1, R1, and so on, all the way around. Okay, now these are your large roof panels, and they have the numbers on the back side. So now, as you look in at your top here, you can see right here's the numbers, R4, R5, R6. So we'll start with R1 here. Right here, R1. And what you'll do is you'll glue these in permanently. You'll put glue right on the edges of these here rafter things right here, okay? You'll put glue there, and you'll get your number R1, and your decorative area goes down first, this way here, and you'll set them in here like this, and you'll slide up until it can't go any further. And then you'll do the same with R2, and all the way around until you get to R8. Now, right now, these are just being held on with friction. I may have to do a little gluing on these. I'm going to have to do a little bit of hot melt glue probably. So when I get these hot melt glued on, I'll bring you back. Okay, I had this all temporary hot melt glued on there. But what you're going to do is when you glue these on one at a time, you're just going to make sure you got these lined up where you want them lined up this way. And just check to make sure you're lined up here as best you can. They're not going to line up perfectly. You may have to do a little sanding or something, but just try to line them up as best you can. Once you get these lined up where you want it, your numbers now are going to be referenced on the bottom now. So again, look for your left side. If we know that the handle here is on the right hand side, then we know that the left is over the other side here. So just like that. And again, if you get confused of what numbers are which, just look on the bottom here. Here's your numbers. So right now we're looking at 4 in front of us right now. That's number 4. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, because we have the left side to us and the left hand side, the front is number 4. We're going to now put the next part of the roof system on. Now the next part of it is these small pieces here. And again, they too have numbers on the back side of them. So again, looking at our reference here, we're looking at 4 in front of us here. I'm going to start with number 4. And I'll find number 4 here. Okay, here's number 4. And what that's going to do is you're going to glue these on now. You go glue them here a little bit back and forth here, and then you're going to stick it right on top until it can't go any further, and you're going to stick them on like that. That's 4. The one to the right of it would be number 5. And then 6 is right here. I may have to hot milk glue these on too. 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2. I may have to hot milk glue these on so I don't lose them. And number 3. So once you get all these glued on like that, you should be to that stage right there now. Okay? So once you get all them glued on, you'll be to that stage there, and so far you'll have all this done to that point right there. And again, the numbers are on the bottom if you need to reference the numbers again. They're all on the bottom of the base. Next up is we're going to put on the decorative part that goes across the bottom here now, and that's going to come up next. So next we're going to put the fronts on the roofs. Again, we're using these small pieces here now, and these also are numbered. So just in case we forget what numbers are which, look on the bottom here again, and I see that's number 4, so I'll start here at number 4, and I will take number 4 here, and again what you'll do, I'm just using a small amount of hot milk glue in the middle here, that's it. What you're going to do is you're going to glue all the way across on your piece here like this, all the way across, and then go underneath here and then stick it up underneath there and get it lined up pretty close to each corner as you can, and then just push it in and then do that all the way around. Now what I suggest is, since I'm just hot milk gluing this on, what I suggest is, since we're making this the front with the handle on the right hand side, the front starts with number 4. Now to ensure that we have things looking good here, what we'll do is we'll put number 4 on first, then move to the right and put number 5 on, then move back to the left and put number 1 on, number 3 on, and then move back to the right again and put number 6 on, and so on and so forth. And this one here would be number 2 until you get back to the back side. When you get to the back side, then you'll have one more to put in there, and that one you may have to do a little sanding on either side to make it to fit in, but we'll see. But that's the best way to do that. That way that ensures then that we have it lined up as close as we can here on the front. Okay, so that's what we have so far. We have all these now glued on all the way around the perimeter of the top. There's only one last thing to do now, and that is the decorative parts here that go inside the barrel. Now you have a choice. You can do a little painting in here, make it dark, or else you can actually paint this before you assemble everything together. What I did was I think I painted it and then I put it all together, but just make sure you don't paint over the numbers or anything. Now all these here things here, these side panels, you have a choice. You can either make it this way here or this way here. There is no upside down or right side up, and there is no numbers on the back. These you just fit in. And what you'll do is you will, once you get this prep where you want it, you will then glue the back side of this here, just enough glue to not squeeze out too bad, and then just start fitting them in like this. And when you get to the last one, again, start in the front first and go back and forth. Put the next one on this side here. And if you find any that's not fitting in properly, you might have to do a little sanding on the sides, and just keep on going all the way around until you get them all done. And then once you get them all done, when you get to the last one, you may have to do a little adjusting. You may have to do a little sanding on the sides or something. But that's all you got to do is just put all these in. You can put them in upside down, right side up. You can put them. Like I said, there is no right side up or upside down, but you can put them alternate them if you want to. Just what you want to do. But that would do it. And get these in here for you, and we'll take a look at it. Okay. Now, of course, that one's going to fall out because it's the last one, but yeah. Alrighty. Now we'll turn this around. And that is what you should have now. That right there is the finished product. So I think that should be enough to show how to assemble this. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always email me. But that should do it. I think that should be well explained for you. And enjoy it. I'll get it all packed up for you, and then I'll give you the link to this here video, and it's all yours to put together. Have fun with it. Bye.